year is 2021, and Libsyn launches the latest podcast on the Borgcast Galactica feed. In a freak mishap, Borgcast Galactica and its hosts, Peter and Anne-Marie, are blown out of their trajectory to re-emerge as Borg Rogers in the 25th century.
Hello friend, and welcome to Borg Rogers 2.3, covering the amazing episode The Guardians.
Yeah.
I have been waiting 500 Earth years for your arrival.
500 years?
The blinking of an eye in cosmic time. You were chosen long ago to carry the symbol.
I don't understand.
No, carry it with reverence, unopened. It has terrible power. Keep it just so until you place it in the hand of this successor.
But I don't know anything about any successor or where you want this brought.
The cycle of Genovis 26 is nearing its end, my son. And I'm dying. You must honor my requests.
Oh, man, I'm sorry,
but you have no choice. You are the chosen one to be the messenger.
Written by Paul Schneider, first of two. Although he also wrote Balance of Terror and Squire of Gothos for the original series. That's quite the track record there. I don't quite know what happened here, but never mind. This was directed by Jack Arnold, again, first of two. He's a bit of a Hollywood legend. He directed Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh.
The Incredible Shrinking Man, and It Came from Outer Space, amongst many classics. So, again, he's a bit of a come down, really, but there we go.
Yeah. What went wrong?
To be fair, I don't think there's much wrong with the direction, but, yeah, take it away, Bean.
So, Hawk and Buck are in a field, and you spotted that Hawk was rather well hung.
Yeah, we see Hawk's pork rather too clearly for my liking, but there we go. But hey, it's a teaser that actually features Buck for the first time this season, so there's something.
It's a bit blowy. It looks like someone's got a leaf blower on them, so they're going to go and seek shelter. Meanwhile, up on the Searcher, Admiral Asimov is looking at pretty patterns on massive pieces of card. And they're sort of a bit like the NASA logo-ish. They're them physics things with neutrons and protons, except I think they're supposed to be star maps because he looks at them as though they are, but they only have like 3 things on each of them, and they're nearly identical but not quite. And some are blue and some are green, and as props go, they're properly shit.
Yeah.
Back in the field with the leaf blower, a bell tolls, and then there's an open grave on what is blatantly a studio set.
Yes, you go from filming on location to studio set in no time flat, don't you?
And the grave is for Genovis 26. And then Hawk spots a sort of... Well, I don't know if it's an altar or not. It looks a bit like one, but it's... Oh, I don't know. Anyway, there's a bloke lying on it, but he's not dead. He has a chat. And he knows Buck's name and was expecting him. That's your teaser.
Yeah. Do we know... I did a Google in case Genovis meant something in Latin or something. I was trying to work out why it's... I can't work out what the relevance of Genovis is. I was kind of expecting it to be Latin for guardian or something, but apparently it's not, so...
No.
That's a bit weird.
Yes.
And the Guardian is played by Harry Towns, who was in the original series Return of the Archons, and BJ Count 1.
Hey there, where you going? Not exactly knowing. Who says you have to call just one place? Oh, he's going everywhere. DJ McKay and his best friend there.
Hey! And rather more bizarrely, he's also a priest in the Episcopal Church of the United States.
Oh.
Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So he's got this box of trinkets, and he's...
The Box of Delights.
And Buck has got to give it to his successor.
Yeah.
Because Buck is the bearer of the symbols. He's been tested in the past and will be tested again. And this guy's been waiting 500 years. And the cycle of Genovis is nearing its end. Buck must be the messenger, and the box starts glowing green, and then the old man just dies because reasons. And because he's dead, the candles go out.
career.
Yeah, because he's dead, the candles go out, obviously.
Yeah.
So now he has to be buried in the grave he made for himself. Wonderful. The box is now flashing, and there's scrolls to go with it. Buck is asleep, and he touches the box and dreams. Or is he a dream, or is it not a dream? Oh, yes, it's a dream. Of when he's back at his mum's, and he's sort of saying, oh no, nothing's going to go wrong with the mission. It can't possibly.
Nothing could go wrong, yes.
Yeah.
Is this Buck Rogers 1980, effectively?
Oh, yeah, possibly.
And Buck's mum was played by Rosemary DeCamp, who was in a quite a famous film called 13 Ghosts. Also The Littlest Hobo.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. That's where I'll always be. Every stop I make.
But more importantly than that,
He just keeps on moving, ladies keep improving. Every day is better than the
New dreams and better scenes. And best of all, I don't pay property tax.
Oh, fucking hell.
yes! It's every story so far has had a BJ count of 2. Season 2's quite consistent on this front.
Oh, well, at least I know it's not going to come up again.
Exactly.
And then she says that he said nothing can go wrong, and she says the previous rocket exploded, which, given all the NASA-like symbols earlier on, I'm wondering if this is a reference to Apollo 1. And then he's doing automated manoeuvres, but 6 months early, and there's a wibble, and oh no, it's out of control and frozen, and that's what happens. Except he wakes up, and he has woken Hawk in the process, but he's holding a flower. Oh, what is real? Oh, I don't care.
I know it's kind of interesting that this infers that that Buck being frozen and going into the future is all his own fault, as he says later on, it's his sin of pride. So actually, all your own fault. Buck Rogers, you am a twat.
Well, we know that.
There was also a postman, very briefly. Did you notice?
Yes, I did. I
So
half expected
bizarre.
him. The thing is, I half expected it to be Stan Lee, because it's the sort of cameo that would be in a Marvel, isn't
He
it?
did look a bit like Stanley as well. Yeah. I mean, completely pointless. I don't quite know what that was about. He walks on, says his line, and walks off, and you think, what was that about? Played by Howard Culver, who's in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Halloween 2, Pumpkin Boogaloo, or whatever. It wasn't called that. I think it was The Night He Came Back or something like that, wasn't it? Anyway. Land of the Giants, Time Tunnel. I do hope he had an original Dragnet. I do hope he had bigger roles in those, because this was really just ridiculous. He really got out of bed for that. Wow.
Yeah. Meanwhile, when the box goes back on the searcher, Hawk looks at it and sees Corey. And then
Corey, hallelujah. I can't believe I didn't do that in the pilot.
Yeah. And apparently, if there's no Guardian, there will be. This is Miss Dr. Cardigan has read the scrolls. If there's no Guardian, it will be a catastrophe. At which point Buck goes, that explains Earth history.
Yeah.
What?
What?
No,
eh?
what?
Ooh.
No, it fucking doesn't. The Tories explain Earth history, or whatever they're called in whatever country, as having a war and run by right-wing twats at the moment who are corrupt and lying. Anyway, and then you get the reference to the Holocaust thing.
Yeah, the nuclear Holocaust
Yeah.
in Buck Rogers. So, continuity, shocking. But yeah, apparently this box was responsible for that, or something, or the lack of a Guardian at any particular time.
Yeah, bollocks. It's people not wanting to take responsibility for their own actions.
Yes, so it must be something else out in space that's causing all the nonsense, not us being idiots and voting in the wrong people.
Exactly. Anyway, stupid Admiral opens the box lid, and then suddenly everybody looks a bit like they're zombies. Apparently they're starving.
Yeah, it's not really well conveyed by the makeup, is it?
No.
You wonder if they're zombies.
Yeah, that's what I thought was zombies.
Are they dying? And then they actually have to say, oh no, they're starving. It's like, well, the problem is that you can't make people look like they're starving if they're not actually starving, and makeup's never going to do that.
No.
So you'd need a lot more prosthetics or something, I don't know. But anyway.
Well, these days it would be CG, I would think.
Yeah, probably, yes.
Anyway, and then suddenly he's like, he didn't open the box and everybody's fine. So, and clearly it's a vision of the future. And you get more of them. Have we got to the point you take over yet?
Yes, pretty much.
Oh, good. I love beer.
All this is in the canteen, which is a new set, thankfully. Remember what the canteen was
Yes,
like before?
it was terrible. I mean,
All
this
the
is
cork
the cork and
wall
the
panels.
plant. Yeah, this is a better canteen, but they still got them shit yellow Tommy Tippy cups.
Yeah. We have a bit of business that you missed with Lieutenant Devlin.
Oh yeah, and his fiancée, who's a cadet, and he's what, 40s?
Yes. Oh, maybe she joined the service late. Let's hope that's the case, eh? He's played by Paul Carr, who was Lieutenant Kelso in the original series Where No Man Has Gone Before.
Which one's that?
I think was he the helmsman?
No, which episode?
As in the second ever episode, the second pilot.
Second pilot. Fair enough.
Yeah, what's her name? Deirdre or something? That makes her sound old anyway, doesn't it? I mean, nobody young is called Deirdre, are they?
No, it just makes me think of Deirdre Barlow
Exactly.
from Coronation Street.
Anyway, this box that they found on this planet and then just dropped on the dining room table like you do, it's not very hygienic, Hawk takes to his quarters, which is an awful set with a brown 70s sofa of shat.
Oh, it's got... Oh, no, just wrong.
Corey Hallelujah appears. The producers enjoyed Luna's performance and wanted to bring her back despite the fact she died in the pilot. So, kind of a bit rare. Another continuity reference, which is nice. She disappears when she realises they can't be together because, she's dead. You'd have thought that had occurred to her a bit earlier, but there we go. Wilma is next with a box and runs into a blind version of herself. And she mouths something, which is dubbed as, "Oh my God," but I'm pretty sure that's not what she said. But anyway.
Oh, did she say, "Oh shit," or "Oh fuck"?
It looked like "Oh shit" to me.
Okay,
but,
brilliant.
The ship keeps going back to the same course, and Buck realises that's where the box wants to be. Asimov reacts against this idea, but then they realise they'll run out of provisions on the current course and staff, fulfilling his vision. They pick up communication from the colony they're heading to, telling them they're already 8 months overdue. And to add to the heavy air of things, they report Lieutenant Devlin's fiancée is missing. Really unsubtly as well.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, fiancée's dead. What? Hey? What? Unsurprisingly, he gets a bit freaked out by that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a long way from blue leprechauns and ambassadors with detachable heads.
Yeah,
aren't
we are.
It's all very heavy. Devlin goes to flush the box down the toilet or out the ship or something.
Yeah.
Wilma struggles with him for some reason. Quite understand.
She's trying to stop him doing it because she's worried it's going to make things worse.
Well, anyway, she punches his lights out.
She does, but I like that.
But I don't know, it just seemed a bit OTT, and the box is dropped and she's blinded.
Blind, 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 blind.
Yeah, we're later told she did this because she was angry with him, which... I don't know.
Justifiably, though, because she thought that he was going to put the whole ship in danger if he flushed it out.
Well, he was working on the basis the whole ship was in danger because they got it. But anyway, Asimov refers to her as a poor child, which isn't very professional.
No!
Blimey. And then flushes the box out into space himself. He's called to the bridge to find the box in his chair, which, Captain Box, I don't know what's going on there. And they realise they don't have any choice but to travel where the box wants them to go. Then dear old Goodfellow treats Wilma. But whilst he's managed to short-term fix, cataracts will form if they don't get to a medical facility. Tweaky and Crichton have been checking the supplies and they're running dangerously low, despite them supposedly having plenty recently. So I don't quite know what's happening there. I realise they're travelling in a different time zone to the rest of the universe or something, but why does that mean they're running out of food? Because the food's in the same time zone as they are. Doesn't make any sense, but
I'm not sure a lot of this does.
No. Asimov blames the box, but Goodfellow quotes Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. The fault lies not in our stars, but in ourselves. Yeah, Season 2 making a bid for being rather more cultural than Season 1's disco stylings.
Yeah. I like the disco stylings.
Yeah, I know. They would do, you ought to stick what you're best at, really.
Yeah.
Classy and Buck Rogers don't go together. Particularly not when quoted by a guy to cardigan.
No. No.
They work out
It's a space cardigan.
They work out the box was exposing their sins. Pride in Buck's case. Buck having a flaw? I'm amazed Gil Gerard agreed to that, but fair enough. Hawk's sin was wanting to override the rules of nature in keeping Corey, apparently. That doesn't seem like much of a sin. I mean, it's not like he could enforce it or anything. No. And in Wilma's case, it was her anger at Devlin, which, I just don't see Wilma as an angry person, personally, but there we are. Buck, Hawk and Wilma shuttle down to the planet they arrive at using Buck's ship rather than the Galactica shuttle they've used previously.
I don't know.
And if they had Buck's ship all this time, why didn't they use that to search for our lost heroes in the last story when we were told that they hadn't got another shuttle? So, yeah, a bit of a failure on the continuity there. But
Just a little bit, yes.
They turn up on a very cool, classically designed set, although you pointed out it's probably a backlot. But
No, it does. It looks obviously like a backlot. I mean,
but nevertheless, it's far better than the crummy set that this story started with. So, kudos for that.
it's definitely better than the cave set.
Yes. They find another plinth, this time with Genova's 27 carved on it. And then a young shepherd introduces... A young shepherd in space? What's this?
Space shepherd.
Space shepherd. Introduces himself...
Shepherding his space sheep.
Yes. He introduces himself as the Lame One. Wow. I mean, that's a name, isn't it? Gosh. Then there's an earthquake and explosions, and the shepherd falls down an hole. Buck tries to rescue him, but the boy lets go on purpose, sacrificing himself instead of Buck dying or something. The box is now glowing wee yellow, and a bunch of monks appear, including the Guardian from the beginning. I think it's hard to tell under that beard. Yeah. Thanking Buck for helping them to discover the 10th power, whatever that is. The shepherd boy materialises next to them as the new Guardian, having proved himself by being prepared to sacrifice. He reverses the effects of the box, and they all disappear. All's well that ends well, Goodfellow pronounces, and calls Crichton an idiot for some reason. And everybody laughs.
Yeah. I mean, all's well that ends well, I think that's also Shakespearean, isn't it?
Ah, right, okay. But why does he then call Crichton an idiot? Is that a Shakespeare
no,
quote
that's
as well?
not in there. No. No, I don't know. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, let's face it, it's a good job they didn't try and stretch this one to 2 episodes, because there ain't enough story for 1 episode.
No.
It doesn't have the daftness of previous stories, and it's quite dark in places. But it's also pretty slow, and the resolution is just pathetic with this random shepherd boy turning up at the end to become the Guardian. Oh. I mean, wouldn't it make more sense for it to have been turned out to be another member of the crew, like Devlin or somebody?
Oh, I don't know. It needs to be a random lame shepherd boy walking around with a bell on a stick.
Yeah,
because
from the Middle Ages for reasons.
Yeah, I just no.
What? Why? Just why is this story a thing? I'm not sure.
No. I mean, also using the word story, I mean...
Yeah, it's a random collection of stuff they threw together, isn't it?
It is a bit. Yes, it's not good. I mean, I found it less irritating than last week.
Yes. As I say, it benefits from the fact it's only 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I can cope with this just about. Any more than that,
yeah.
I'll be leaving the room, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and that ending was just like, what the fuck? I mean, well, no, both endings, as in the resolution of random lame shepherd boy who calls himself Lame One, like he hasn't even got a fucking name.
They call me the Lame One.
And then, then there's like they all appear, and then, now there's 10, so they vanish, or what? And then...
I know, it's just like, what?
And then they're going to put everything back, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of Star Crash, Halt the Flow of Time or something.
But not as good as that.
No. So that was shite. But then also the fucking quote Shakespeare and call your robot an idiot. Ha ha ha. What? No. Wrong. Bad. No like.
Right. Well, let's find out what other people thought. We had a little bit on the Facebook from Christian and Honore before we recorded this saying, I smell some aliens influence the ancients related bullshit, which it doesn't quite do, but it still kind of goes there with the idea that somehow this box caused all the tragedies in history.
Yeah.
Or something.
And we've heard from Jeff, who writes, that was a weird one. Nothing like any previous Buck Rogers episode. Our regulars don't really play an active role in the story at all, but just swept along by the mystical box. There's a weird moral...
Buck's mystical box.
And Hawk's pork. There's a weird moralistic angle where they learn about hubris, anger and impatience, but I'm not sure Hawk should be punished for the apparent sin of wishing his wife wasn't dead.
Yeah, I do think that's slightly unreasonable.
Though everything seemed pretty low stakes, it was nice to see everybody getting something to do. The highlight being Wilma decking Lieutenant Devlin. Yes. That was a pretty good swerve with Devlin. With all his wedding talk, I figured he was marked for death.
Yes.
Not the never-seen fiancé. Then Dr. Feelgood isn't actively trying to kill everyone. He's pretty charming. Though that Crichton robot's starting to make all racks seem downright cuddly. It was a little frustrating. It was one of those all-a-dream reset endings, although I found it amusing that the Metrons from Arena were behind it all.
Yeah, it wasn't a dream. It's just weird. Very weird. And not I suppose you're right, not much to do with our crew beyond the fact that Buck is just delivering the box, basically.
He's a delivery boy.
It's Buck Rogers Deliveroo. Yeah, that's what this was. Wow.
Yeah, it can't be Hermes because it actually got where it was supposed to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it was competently delivered. We've also heard from Sampu and Yona.
I wonder what they made of this.
Hello.
Hello.
So we just watched The Guardians.
What happens in it?
Some groovy shit.
Well, they had Pandora's box in there.
What? Pandora's box, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, not really. Don't really know what to say about that. That sort of went all over the place.
That did. Well, I can start with Jonna's feminism corner here. I've got this letter for Wilma, which is saying that when Wilma told that she was facing blindness for being angry or storming angrily away from some guy.
No, towards him, because he was throwing the thing out of the airlock. So she was completely justified, I think.
Yeah, and I just want to tell Wilma that even when a woman is or would say or do something angrily, blindness is not a correct response for being angry. So if you ever, Wilma, seek to be angry or something, just do that.
Well,
you are entitled to your emotions.
Well, at least she had something to do.
Yeah.
And, and throughout the episode, I was thinking that, okay, what's the connecting tissue between these visions? Because they didn't seem to have any. Well, then they just said that, okay, it's sins or something, and that didn't work at all.
Yeah.
Then, like Hawk wanted to disturb the natural order of things or something.
Well, maybe that's a sin in his culture.
Maybe,
that should be sin in our culture, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, maybe.
Instead we have gluttony.
Yeah, so Buck tried to save a shepherd, so everything's fine again. Thank you to everyone, especially you, Buck, for showing us the way, and everything's fine again. Well, at least there was a ending laughter, and now that I got it, I don't miss it at all anymore.
And something to say about the ending. Hawk and Buck got this invitation to a wedding, but Wilma didn't get one.
True, but I mean...
Even though Wilma was there for him all the time when he thought he'd lost his wife-to-be. And Buck said to Wilma, go after him now. Like, how would it be like Wilma's chore to comfort him? Why didn't Buck go there on his own, with his own legs? He could have comforted this grieving man as well.
Yes, pretty difficult to actually think of anything to say about that episode.
Yeah,
it came and went. We saw how Buck got stuck in space, and I mean that was completely sort of. I
thought that okay, it's nice to have a little background for a Buck. Then he's there in Earth, and he saw his mother, and he was just like me.
Yeah, how do I look?
I don't know. If you'd see your mother, even for a briefly, wouldn't you hug her or something?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess he thought the future was the dream, so he was just napping. So
so in the dream he was not the Buck we know. He was the Buck he know 500 years ago.
It was a bit unclear. I don't know.
A bit unclear.
Yes, I know. I guess it's time travel shenanigans that they selected Buck like 500 years earlier, but I guess they knew he'd end up in the future, because otherwise it would have been a bit of a poor choice.
I guess.
So the Crichton, the robot, the only function of his arm seems to be that he makes him look irritated. Okay, and what's Tweaky even doing in this series anymore? He seems to have one scene in every episode where he just walks in, says something, and goes away.
Maybe Tweaky misses the time when he was important. Now he's just trying to, like, I exist, I still exist. And Buck is like, okay, take that old dog to somewhere else.
Yeah, we've got Crichton now, the new shiny robot.
He's got folding arms.
Well, went all over the place, but in the end really went nowhere.
Yeah.
Our 7-year-old son walked in when we were watching this, and he asked very accurately, "Why are you watching this?"
Yeah, I couldn't answer.
Yeah, we had no answer. Yes. Well, let's hear what you have to say. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
I love that. Your son says, "Why are you watching this?" You have no
Do
answer.
apologise to your son from us, right?
Exposing him to this weird shit.
We watch this not just with Sprog 2 as is traditional, although these days they watch it with their headphones in. They're really not bothered by it. But also my sister happens to be staying over as well, and she sat there incredulously for all of it.
Yeah. And yeah, in terms of a few comments on what you said, sort of reverse order as it were, if I'd had a dream like that, I would immediately go and hug my mum. Why doesn't he hug his mum? Never mind that. He thinks, oh, it was just a dream. He should still bloody hug his mum. That's the first one. The second one, good point. Where's Wilma's invitation? She knows the guy.
Perhaps there's some underlying tension between the two of them. That's why she loses her crap with him so quickly.
Oh, did she have a thing for him and now he's got...
Yeah, maybe she's cheesed off. Yeah, she wanted to marry him. Doesn't sound right, does it? But anyway.
I don't know. You know.
I feel like we're missing a whole character arc.
Yeah, or she had a thing for her.
Nice. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the writer's intention.
No, but I like that idea
let's
better.
Go with it, yes.
I like that idea better. So that's why he gets the slap.
Let's live in your reality.
Yes, okay. And finally, I kind of like the idea that the whole you're not following the order of things might be a sin in Hawk's culture. I kind of like the idea.
Yeah, I suppose that would explain something. But I think they need to give us a bit more to explain that, really, because it doesn't make any sense to us, does it?
No, but not all cultures.
Whereas, if he believes in the circle of life or something, just to
yeah, I know. Sorry, circle of life.
Yeah, I just plucked that one from somewhere in my arse. Yeah.
But not all cultures think of the same things as being sins, so it would make sense that he'd have something else.
And certainly not all cultures have the same approach to death, for instance.
Yeah, so okay, that works for me. I hadn't thought of that. But he should still bloody hug his mum.
And they are definitely, season 2, Buck Rogers is embarrassed about Tweaky and just doesn't want him in the series generally. So
that's because they haven't got the right guy doing the voice.
Partly that, and partly the fact I think they find it...
They've realised that they've got a dick-shaped robot.
No, they've toned down a lot of the fun silliness.
Yeah, but they got fucking Corkscrew, haven't they?
Yeah, instead. But he's not silly, he's dull.
No, but he's annoying.
And you're right, his hands have 2 positions.
Yeah.
Just by his sides and then all camply up on his hips.
Yeah, but he's shit. He's shitter than Tweaky.
Yes, he is.
If they had no robots, and so they were writing out Tweaky because they didn't want to have them, I'd go with that. I might not be happy, but I could see the point, the principle they were working to. But they've replaced Tweaky with a shit robot Corkscrew, and it doesn't work. It's like our Corkscrew that we broke opening Ruth's wine.
It came off in the end.
Yes.
And the Corkscrew. And funny enough, she didn't want to drink the wine afterwards. Had a bit of a head. Anyway, what did Drew and Tracy is finished them off? Do you think are they going to make it to the end of the season? The tension is unbearable.
We just watched The Guardians.
And what did you think of that one then?
You know what? I liked it.
Really?
Yes, it did. Yeah. I think it was the right...
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of like the right level of Twilight Zone, zany, wacky, crazy. Plus, it wasn't a double episode, so it was short and to the point, and there was some funnies in it. Yeah, I didn't mind this at all. I think it might have been just like so much better than the last ones.
You crazy.
Yes.
So let's go through some points. So it was good to see Buck in the Battlestar Galactica looking outfit at the beginning of this. Glenn A. Larson is obviously just recycling some load of shit, isn't he? So Juniverse is God.
Yeah, another God lookalike.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was very kind of like weird at the beginning, wasn't it?
Yep.
Like, here's your glowing thing, and oh, now I've given it to you, you've touched it, I'm going to die.
Yes.
What?
Buck lives on the Paramount backlot, doesn't he? That's good.
He
It's
does.
nice and handy for him.
And isn't it so brilliant that he is like a NASA pilot, but he's lying out on the lawn in the open air with the NASA flight plan on his lap, with his NASA jacket on the back of his chair. It's like, there's no like security issues there at all, is there?
His mum calls him Buck. His name's William, isn't it?
But she probably I would say she probably gave him that nickname.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
No mum calls their son by a nickname.
Actually, there's not. There is not. Mums never shorten your name at
exactly.
all.
William, it'd be.
William, yeah. But if she came out calling him William, you wouldn't know who the fuck she was talking about.
No,
would you?
I guess not.
So that green box.
It needed charging, didn't it? Through
It
the
did
whole
need
episode.
charging. But it wasn't exactly the fucking box of delights, was it?
No, it wasn't.
You know, Wilma went blind with it.
It wasn't really explained, like, why it was, like, evil or whatever, was it?
It wasn't quite evil, it was just weird, because, like, Buck got to go back and see his mum and kind of relive what happened to him.
Yeah, it wasn't really a bad vision, was it?
Wilma got her eyes blasted out, and then the captain of the ship, or whatever his chops is called,
Asimov,
saw his crew, like, starving to death. So it was just a bit weird, wasn't it?
We had to laugh when Buck came out of his vision and he was like lying on the ground, and Hawk had his hand very low on his chest, and he said, what did he say? You went limp like a dead man. Brilliant.
We did like that, but we also liked the fact when Hawk went into his quarters and there was like, it was all normal, and we were like, where's like the swings
the
with
mirror
like, the mirrors
and the cuttlefish bone,
and where's the box of trill?
Yeah.
Again, I just can't stand the fact that Deering's in the background.
Yeah,
she's gone from being like the hard-assed, Colonel in like season 1 to just being like a bit of a
someone
layman.
on the helm, isn't it?
Just
yeah.
Really annoys me, and I cannot fucking stand that fucking robot.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it drives me crazy.
Yeah, as I said, I just think it's the right kind of zaniness for me. It's not too long, it's a bit silly, zany. It was amusing in places. I didn't mind this at all.
I just can't even look at you like thinking about that. I just think, why are we watching this shit?
You didn't enjoy that.
I
thought it was funny to watch. I thought it was funny watching it. I thought it was like,
I don't think we laughed once in it.
Yeah, we're laughing at ourselves at comments.
Yeah.
Not bad, I'd say, not bad.
All right. Well, if they're going to be like short ones,
single episodes,
they're
not bad, yeah.
They're not dissimilar to this, then I can take it.
Okay.
Anyway, you want to leave it there?
Okie dokie.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye. In terms of the mum calling him Buck or William, it does depend on the personality of the mum. So, my nan always called her youngest child, my aunt, Margaret, even though she always wanted to be known as Maggie, and everybody else called her Maggie, including her dad, my grandpa, but she always said Margaret. So Maggie grew up being really pissed off that she knew what everybody wanted to call her and her own mum wouldn't do it. So she called her daughter, my cousin, Katie, not Catherine, Katie, so that everybody would use the name Katie, except Katie prefers to be known as Kit. And Maggie, knowing how that feels, calls her daughter Kit. So maybe Buck's mum is a Maggie or a Peggy or a something who knows how it feels to have your mum call you by your full name when you don't like it, and so she calls her son Buck like my Aunt Maggie calls her daughter Kit.
Thank you for that.
I had not clocked the line with his hand on the chest. You were limp like a dead man. I hadn't clocked
They're shipping Buck and Hawk. What are we calling that? Bork? I ship Bork.
Huck.
Fuck that. Anyway, I love Drew's, sort of praise for the story. I liked it. It was short. Got it over quickly. But yes, there's a bit of tension there. I do hope we're not going to be blamed for the breakdown of their relationship thanks to this bloody nonsense.
Tracy, I can't even look at you.
Yeah. Buck Rogers season 2 ruined my marriage.
Oh no. I hadn't tweaked, but you're right. The brown uniform thing, but it is, isn't it? It's BSG.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Battlestar cost so much that they had to recoup the costs, and they did that with a combination of Buck Rogers and Galactica 1980, basically.
Okay.
So this is them scraping their money back. I think it was the most expensive TV series of the time.
Wow.
So it gives you an idea, because they were attempting to do Star Wars on on TV, basically.
Yeah.
I don't think the box is particularly evil.
No.
It's slightly judgmental, I suppose, but
it's
not
a judgy
evil
box
per
of
se.
judginess.
Yes, it's a box of judgy. Yes. And to be fair, Wilma was being sidelined halfway through season 1, so this has just continued that arc, unfortunately. She hasn't really been kick-ass for a very long time indeed.
No. Is it Purray?
It is Purray!
Hello, Orcs. Purray here to talk about the Buck Rogers episode, The Guardians. This... Is it an improvement? I suppose it has the virtue of being shorter than the episodes we've seen thus far. They didn't feel to pad it out, and that meant it did feel a bit more like it was moving somewhere. That said, was it good quality? I had some interesting ideas. I liked the idea that they had this box that they thought was cursed, but it was in fact something really important, although I think the problem was we never really got an idea of what the box actually did. It did a whole lot of bad things, and it clearly had some time manipulation, but we never really saw the consequences of them not completing the mission. And in fact, after Admiral Asimov goes nuts and slings it out, only to find the box sitting in his chair doing the Captain Phillips, I'm the captain now. But basically, the crew are along for a ride. Yes, things happen to them. Wilma gets blinded after seeing a horrifying vision of the future where she's blinded. I did feel when she said to the guy, "Oh, it wasn't your fault." It blimmin' was. He's the one who went through the thing out. He's the one who wrestled. And she's apologising for punching him in the face. He got her blinded. She has every right to be annoyed. But there were some quite nice things. The sort of time distortions. Like I say, the ideas in this are actually quite sound. If not a bit dragged out. I didn't think we needed quite so long with the old man. But the idea of the Searcher being kind of shanghaied by a mysterious box to do something cosmic is quite interesting. It's just sadly the cosmic thing was kind of ill-defined. For the most part, it is the crew just having their own little encounters. Hawk sees his girlfriend again. Buck has a flashback, a long flashback to before he went on the Ranger 3 mission. Asimov sees everyone starving, and indeed there is a kind of subplot about them running out of food. And again, this is the idea. I think they were pulling something together, but maybe a couple more rewrites, and they might have actually had a fairly solid episode with a kind of creepy undertone to it. And again, you could have had a bit more of the crew turning on each other, protecting the box, fighting the box, that sort of thing. But instead, after they try to get rid of it, it just kind of takes over. So yeah, better than the last couple. For all that not much happened, and I think that's my big criticism. For a lot of it, they were just sitting in the ship, watching the glowy green box go. And that's maybe my biggest criticism, is I think I needed more happening. But at least it was only 45 minutes of not much happening. So there is that. So yeah, the quality of season 2 continues, I guess. But all the praise is do keep up the good work. I always look forward to the podcast. And I'll get back to you in the next one. But until then, bye for now.
Bye. Another vote for brevity.
Yes, at least only 45 minutes of not much happening. I mean, we knew this was bad. I still prefer it to Picard season 2, to be honest.
It's more amusing.
Yeah, I'm sighing, I'm frustrated, I'm often laughing at it, but I'm not cross with it as a rule.
Right, well, thank you to everybody who's fed back.
Thank you, you got very brummy.
Did I? I'm sorry. Must be the heat. Next time we cover another 45-minute gem.
Oh, goody.
Mark of the Saurian. It's lizard time, apparently.
Oh.
No idea on this one. Just it involves a lizard. It looks like the lizard from Last Starfighter, but I'm sure it in the still photo I saw. But I'm sure it won't look that good on the actual TV screen. But we shall see.
I'm wondering, is it going to be comparable to a Silurian from Doctor Who?
No. I think more.
Hammer's the reptile?
Yeah, it's closer. Yeah, as I say, it looks to me just like the alien from Last Starfighter, but yeah.
Which one's Last Starfighter?
It's the one with the kid who plays the computer game and ends up
Oh, yeah,
actually
the one
flying
I
the ship.
zoned out of because it was gobshite.
Just no taste. Anyway, that's why we're covering Buck Rogers. We'll catch you next time. Recording Thursday, the 30th of June. Where's the month going? But until then, cheerio, bye.
Bye. The voiceover for Borg Rogers was provided by Michael David Sims from Earth2.net.
The Buck Rogers theme was played by Drew Barker. All other music is used for illustrative purposes only, and no copyright infringement is intended.
The artwork for this podcast was created by Andy Palastides.
To contact us, send emails or MP3s to borgcast@gmail.com.
Contact us via Twitter at rev_org or Borgcastammo. #Borgcast.
Visit our website at galactica.libsyn.com
Or view images relating to our cast on our Tumblr site, borgcast.tumblr.com.
You can join our Facebook page. And there's also a Spotify playlist with all our play-out tunes on it.
They're blind, 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 blind.
Shut it down!